We want to get back to the breaking news from the Iowa State House. Lawmakers have approved new abortion restrictions for our state.
This all happened overnight. The final vote came just before 11 o'clock deadline last night. KCCI's Alyssa Gomez is there outside the State House building this morning. And Alyssa, how did this bill get to the governor's desk this morning?
Well, it was an extremely long night of debate from both sides last night, but it all came down to a 32-17 vote that passed in the Iowa Senate last night. And just 2 hours before that, the measure had passed in the House around 9 p.m. If signed by the governor, the bill would ban most abortions once there is a, quote, detectable fetal heartbeat. Doctors say cardiac activity generally happens around 6 weeks of pregnancy. The bill does allow for some exceptions in cases of rape, incest, or medical emergencies. Emotional testimonies were heard from lawmakers throughout the day.
I believe to my core that intensely personal healthcare decisions are best made between patients and their doctors. Every Iowan deserves the right to decide when or if to become a parent, and the idea that we would dictate otherwise is antithetical to the ideals of personal liberty and freedom.
If they're not prepared to have a baby, they shouldn't have sex. If they're that concerned about it. I will stand for everyone's right to practice abstinence. Abortion has little, if anything, to do with reproductive rights. It's after the fact.
Now, the governor is expected to sign the bill on Friday, but we do know that there are groups such as Planned Parenthood that are planning to challenge the bill in court. Here live at the State House, Alyssa Gomez, KCCI 8 News, Iowa's news leader.
Thank you, Alyssa. Phrasing within the bill says abortions would be banned once a fetal heartbeat is detected.
Several other states have passed so-called fetal heartbeat laws, but some doctors warn the terminology doesn't easily translate to medical science. While the Iowa bill does not include a limit on weeks of pregnancy, medical experts say ultrasounds can generally detect cardiac flutter at about 6 weeks. But they also add an embryo doesn't become a fetus until about 8 weeks into pregnancy and doesn't have a heart. The bill Iowa lawmakers just approved says a doctor must test for a fetal heartbeat before performing an abortion. The woman also needs to acknowledge that test. Now, while doctors generally agree that cardiac rhythm can be detected around 6 weeks, some tell the Associated Press that the heart doesn't actually form until about 8 weeks.
And many doctors don't even schedule a first ultrasound until weeks after that. Unity Point in Des Moines says pregnant women typically have their first prenatal visit and ultrasound at 10 weeks. We've also contacted Mercy One and Broadlawns about when their doctors schedule the initial ultrasounds, but have not heard back.
A Des Moines Register Mediacom Iowa poll released back in March shows a majority of Iowans were against restricting abortion. 21% of people surveyed said that they believe abortion should be completely legal. 40% believe it should be legal in most cases. 35% believed it should be illegal in some way.